With a deep breath and a tightened grip, the ancient Norsemen face their destiny. The forest holds its breath for the coming violence. For the Viking warrior, the shield was life itself. Every dent, every scratch a whisper from the battlefield.
The Scandinavian forest holds its breath as the warriors clash. Every fiber of their being, every
From 700 to 1100 AD, the Norse longboats expanded across the known world.
The Norse expansion radiated outward from Scandinavia. They struck west across the sea.
The evolution is clear. The early Germanic shield, a rudimentary defense, gave way to the classic.
Every Viking shield begins here, crafted from sturdy wood. But it is the iron boss, hammered. The strength of the shield is the strength of its components. This oak, hardened by time, meets the unforged iron.
Each stroke of ochre and iron spoke to the warrior's devotion. These runes, these beasts of myth.
This was the shield wall, the bedrock of the Viking army. Shoulder to shoulder they stood, an unbroken barrier of wood and iron.
The shield was not merely for defense. Used offensively, it could bash opponents and create vital openings.
The sheer force of the axe blow could shatter lesser defenses, but the reinforced boss was designed to absorb the shock.
Harold Godwinson met them here at the bridge. A shield wall shattered, a king lost. And in the south,
These shields, crafted in the Age of Legends, were thought impenetrable. But against the breath of the Wyrm, the shield wall must hold.
The sagas tell of the Berserker, impervious to steel. His shield was a wall against the onslaught of arrows and spears.
Wielding their shields with unmatched skill and ferocity, these women warriors held their own.
The warrior lies still, his eyes closed and face serene. A single hand rests on the shield.
The shield was more than mere protection. It was a canvas for faith, adorned with runes and symbols of the gods.
The shields were more than just protection. They told the story of the warrior, their clan, and the gods.
This resounding impact was the language of ancient warfare, a dialogue between bronze and the sheer will of the combatants. After the initial shock of the shields, the duel becomes a test of endurance. Each warrior searches for an opening. The wood splintered, the leather torn. Even the finest craftsmanship could not withstand the force of that final blow. In the unforgiving age of the Vikings, the shield was a warrior's most vital companion. Here, in the roaring heat of the forge, iron is transformed. With every precise strike, the metal takes shape.
Artistry belies their true purpose. Each coil and color, a testament to the brutal realities of the Viking age.
The Vikings called it the Skjaldborg, the shield fortress. A wall of wood and iron.
In the unforgiving fjords of Norway, the Viking warrior relied solely on the strength of his arm and the sharpness of his blade. This was the shield wall, a disciplined line where warriors stood shoulder to shoulder, their very lives depending on the strength of the man beside them. When the axe struck, the shield splintered, yet the warrior held his ground, a testament to Norse resilience.
Etched into the very fabric of their history, the Vikings embraced combat not just as warfare, but as destiny.
A warrior's final journey begins not with sorrow, but with the symbols of his courage. His shield, worn and scarred, this Viking shield bears the mark of true warrior pride. The symbol,
The true test of the blade came not in the field.
The shield boss, central to both defense and attack. Forged in fire, it absorbs the blow, a testament to...
The shield maiden did not hesitate. Forged in the heart of the battlefield, her blade was swift and precise. The hammer must fall with disciplined force, shaping the very soul of the weapon. This repeated impact hardens. The strength of the blade comes not just from the ore, but from the repeated blows of the hammer, forging its very soul in the searing heat.
The true test of the blade begins not in battle, but here, in the searing heat of the forge. Each strike shapes the...
Against the overwhelming might of the beast, the Norse warrior held fast. This was not merely a battle, but a test of ancient steel and unbreakable will.
Dragon fire consumed the oak, testing the warrior's grip as the shield began to yield. As the dragon's fury met the shield, the sophisticated angling technique redirected the blast, showcasing...
The warrior hurls his shield in a final act. The impact is absolute, proving that in ancient warfare...
Bridges. This interlocking wall of wood and hide was nearly impenetrable. Behind it, the Vikings waited.
This was the true test of the shield wall. Hundreds of arrows, designed to break the line, yet the defense... When the impact came, the wall held firm. These men, scarred and resolute, knew that their survival... With a bone-jarring impact, the longboat struck the sand. The age of the Viking had begun.
The Viking onslaught met fierce resistance on the shores of England. Shields splintered and steel clashed as the defenders fought for their homeland. This was the reality of the Viking raids, a brutal display of power that left nothing but ash and the echoes of their triumphant fury. Across the ancient world, from the sands of Egypt to the forests of Gaul, the spear remained the undisputed master of the battlefield. Forged in fire, beaten in battle, this iron boss stood as the impenetrable heart of the shield, a raw symbol. When the hammer struck the shield's boss, the force was absolute, demonstrating the raw power of the impact against ancient defenses.
The boss. More than just iron and wood, it was the warrior's final defense. A symbol of authority.
The gaping hole tells a story of impact, a raw glimpse into the brutal reality of ancient combat.